of the map, spawning as the blue Hades. His name is Husk Soup. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Shenong. His name is 3DB. The strategy score is off the charts. An absolutely wild situation here. Both of these guys have got some crazy strategic ideas. We do see the early double Shenong farms. If you know how I feel about this, I feel it is well worth it to build those Shenong farms next to your gold mine and protect it. In this situation, he could have done this with the silo over here, enough for him to grab this position over here, and he could have dropped the farms on both sides, and it would have been really nice. Nonetheless, didn't do it, and it's fine. It's not the biggest of deals, especially when you're playing against Hades, but it can save you a little bit of damage later on. Or a lot of damage later on, actually. Nonetheless, the Pioneer wandering through the main base here, just seeing what's going on, and it looks like Soup, he's not doing anything crazy here with the fast Vaults of Erebus, but he is going for it. So this is what I would call the modest fast Vaults of Erebus. It's a quick advance. It is a pretty quick Vaults of Erebus, coming in at like 2 minutes and 30, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And it basically means that Soup here should be able to get himself a nice 4-minute advance time at the very latest. So it's not like hyper greed or anything from Soup, which we're sort of used to, but it's still going to be a somewhat greedy approach to kick this game off. Relics on the map. Let's have a look. Tail Feathers of Heaven. Huge, huge relic for both players. It is the turkey relics as well as Thanksgiving and all the other good stuff. But this one's going to be getting the melee attack for infantry units, getting an extra 0.3 divine damage per attack. It's over it's over 5 seconds or something, but still really strong. Staff of Dionysus here is an amazing relic there for the Hades in this matchup to play around those Yatsa, because it's going to help them stay alive. No low HP villages means no easy snipes. Over on this one, the Pelt of Argus is going to be some line of sight for the units there, +6. And finally, Harmonia's Necklace coming through on this bottom side to boost up the gold income. So, Ajax out, Athena on the way, and a very late Chi Yao for our Kwafu friend 3DB. He wants 3 Kwafu. And, well, that's what he wants. And he's going to go for it. He's going to get the Yatsa out, and he's going to do all the good stuff. Meanwhile, on the main base here for Soup, it's looking like he wants a town center. I could be wrong. He could be going for a village center, but this town center down the bottom is an absolute beauty. Now, what is important about this? Well, it's important to have your Ajax in a defensive position, but he just barely misses out on the Staff of Dionysus relic here. Super unfortunate there for Soup. He hasn't noticed it just yet. His Ajax is sitting out idle going, I wanted that relic. You do not get that relic. Meanwhile, into the main base, however, a Minotaur comes through, going to be taking a bit of a fight against this Yatsa, as B is going to be more than happy to just get a little bit of damage off and then just enjoy the regen. As another Yatsa comes in, and that will be the end of this Minotaur. Meanwhile, over onto this side, though, the Sky Lantern coming through will be spotting the Town Center coming up. 30 seconds from completion over there, as the Ajax to come in and just get tiny little bits of damage off. Can he take out one Yatsa? Yes, he does. That is a big win for Soup early on. Losing one Minotaur for one Yatsa early on, I'll take that trade to the bank. That's happy days. And also distracting away from his town center while this is all going on. Completely fine. 3DB, he does see the town center up, and the question here is going to be, can he actually do this? And he actually says the answer is no. He says, I'm not going for it. I'll go for a town center. B's got all of his economic upgrades, and then he's going for a town center. Now, generally speaking, this is not the most efficient way to do this sort of a fast second town center. However, Soup comes in, scouts it. It's not that bad. It's not like it's a terrible idea. It's just not the most efficient way. You're going to lose out a little bit in terms of the amount of villages you could have potentially had out. But it's not bad in the slightest. Now, moving on from this, Soup has a very, very, very powerful idea, which 3DB needs to play around, which is basically a fortress on this position. We're already talking about the heroic age after seeing these town centers coming up. Yes, this is the next idea for Soup. He's going to want to get a heroic age in. He's going to want to put a fortress down, sieging this town center, sieging this town center. Very tough to deal with. As the Pioneers on this position, they can't beat Achilles. Achilles is on very strong. Boy, his only weakness is the Achilles, and it's not looking like these Pioneers are aiming for that. So he's totally fine to take out all the Pioneers he wants in the world. So what's the question really is, how are you going to deal with a fast heroic into a fortress here? The other thing is, there's 2 rhinos, right, on these town centers. So there's so much food here for Soup. He's on his berries. He's got all these goats. It is without a doubt in my mind that this heroic age is going to come in incredibly quickly for Soup in this game. 3DB making some Dow swordsmen. He needs those to deal with the heroes. A couple more Kwafu coming in as he queues them out of both of these town centers. But this slows him down as much as it speeds him up. I'm afraid he's going to have some issues. One thing here for Soup that's a bit of a problem is he doesn't have any favor income right now. So the lack of favor means not going to be able to put up his fortress straight away, unless he notices that, in which case he's fine. So I think basically the reason why 3DB has gone 2TC here is because of how good this back gold mine is for both players. Like, how are you going to push through a Hades 2TC at this point and get the gold star? The answer is you're probably not. And we see Soup here. He loves to do this. He's going to the center of the map. He's grabbing this forward hunt. Now, this is doing 2 things for him. Number one, number one, he's getting food. Hunt is good. Always eat your hunt. But number 2 is he actually moves the villagers even closer to being able to move onto this position and drop that fortress down. But after all is said and done, Fey Beast is in for 3DB as he does manage a fairly competitive heroic age time. However, he hasn't pre-queued the rush ult. Double military academy coming through for Soup. Soup needs to make a decision. Do I build some Toxotes? Do I not? Is he actually going to go for this forward fortress? Or is he not? To some degree, there's no real rush to actually move in on this fortress either. You can just sit back, mass up an army, and walk forward later. Curse Restoration. And then set the forward fortress up. This is always going to be a problem here for 3DB. B as well has to be thinking, okay, how do I actually deal? How do I deal with the Yahtzes? Not the Yahtzes, the Peltast. How do I deal with the Peltast? And the answer is normally going to be Yahtzer or something like that. As the Chongqi comes through, trying to take out a villager here as Soup running past the wall. Does manage to get that one back to safety, leaving all the rest of his villagers here just not overreacting. Love that play. But now there's also ballistics, so finally this flying myth unit can get taken out, but doesn't actually decide to chase that one with the Achilles there. As B says, I see your units in here. I'm not going to allow you to just walk across the map and place a ballet or a fortress down in my face. You're going to have to build some units and push me back. Military Academy coming in as the heroic age now through for 3DB. He's got the favor in the bank to get himself his upgrades. You have to see the these hoplites are doing that bonus damage there with the tail feathers of the heavens. There, that's the Chongqi. The Chonky boy gets taken out. Alrighty, can the damage actually get done here? I don't even think it can. You can also drop Curse. There's no real problems. But this army here for Soup is looking incredibly strong. As he's going to be taking out those fire archers and all the other good stuff on the back. The Baihu getting sent packing here as well. 68 HP at a dream, but 11 HP at a dream. And we'll end up going down. And now Soup, very, very simply, he's going for heavy range soldiers, but he can very simply wander forward here and be in a great spot. Drops that Fey Beast down, but like I said, Restoration is in. There's no sense in running from this. Just get the damage done. Kill them off. And then you can look to take a more specific fight. But 3DB, with those fire archers to take out everything else, there's that lightning weapons to come through, trying to just hold. Curse gets dropped, and it looks like there's really not much left here for B's lightning weapons. Because realistically, the Peltas to just take out those fire archers is all he needs to do. And this is looking like a very difficult position now for B, but the Taowu comes in. Gets a little bit of a 10-pin bowling angle in, and Soup does have to pull back into his main base. I think the real big thing for Soup as well right now is because he's got... Well, now he's looking for the fortress. This is dangerous, though. It's a big spend of resources. If B scouts this... Well, obviously he just charges. Because this is 600 resources spent plus the 10 favor and the idle time on the villagers. You've got to charge forward and look for a fight here. Soup does already have himself all of these heavy upgrades, and there's really no upgrades in for 3DB. But he's not paying attention. And most importantly here, Sentinels is available for Soup. Which means this food is Soup's. This gold mine is Soup's. And a siege situation is going to be very tough to deal with. Does he have Divine Blood? No. The fortress is up. B still doesn't know. Zom comes through, and now B is alerted to the presence of either... No, it has to be a fortress. I was about to say either a village center or a fortress. No, it has to be a fortress. Walls to come down as well. There's not much stronger than siege plus wall. As Soup says, let me take down this position. The army for 3DB is starting to look fairly respectable, but he's going to be losing buildings left, right, and center. Villagers over on that left gold mine here as well, just hanging out. Of course, Soup is never going to head over there. Heavy upgrades coming through, but 30 seconds is a long time here as Anemian Lion comes through, getting those stuns in. Peltas going to be taking out a whole bunch of these units on the back. The front line doesn't look like it kind of is being picked off, as the Peltas numbers seeming like they aren't actually doing enough versus these. Never mind, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. 5k military resource value to 1.4k, as there is just such a gigantic advantage now for Soup, and 3DB says, all right, Soup, you got me for game number 1. Let me tap out and we'll go to game number 2. I don't think, maybe 3DB didn't really know what to do here. Could be the idea. I haven't seen him go to town center before for 1v1. Number 2 is this build here, this idea from Soup. This isn't new. This is a very standard Hades approach versus China. We saw Mr. doing it earlier. It's been done many times since the fortifications patch. Super, super strong from Hades. So you've got to come up with ways around this. So for example, staying in the classical age and pumping units and pressuring to take out the Hades forward position here, preventing any sort of forward movement with the villagers, and overwhelming like that as an idea to try and prevent this from happening. But just sitting back and waiting, well, you're going to get that fortress thrown up in your face and life's going to get very tough. But a very well played game here from Soup. We'll jump back over to the draft and see what they're going to pick for game number 2. Alrighty, so it's going to be a Tsukiyomi versus Fushi Affair on the map Blue Lagoon. So 3DB sticking with his Chinese to kick this game off. There is still the Kronos on the table. There's also the Susanoo, Amaterasu as well for 3DB. Some very strong gods left over. Oh, did I not update the thing here? I totally didn't. Let me update this. We have Soup versus B. My bad. All right. Let's see if these guys are already on the way. Oh, they are already on the way. Well, we are literally seconds away from jumping into this game here. So don't go nowhere because you're going to miss out on stuff. We've got ourselves a Tsukiyomi versus Fushi Affair for game number 2 on the map Blue Lagoon. It's going to be a fun one. We did already see Tsukiyomi having a lot of success in a previous series. Different players though. Different strategies, different ideas. Let's jump into this game number 2 and see what's going to happen. Alrighty, guys. On the right-hand corner, bottom right, we have Soup playing as Tsukiyomi here. He's got himself a bit of a forward gold mine. Not something you really want to see when you're playing as Japan. We'll talk about that just a little bit later. On the top side of the map here, B sticking with the Chinese as he decides to go in with Fushi. All right, guys. Relics on the map. Demeter's Throne. Making those houses and drop sites a little bit cheaper. Here we got that Heavenly Jeweled Spear. Very, very nice relic there for the Yati Spearmen and the Halberdiers in this matchup. Over to this side there is the Tusk of the Iron Boar. Getting some hit points for the Cavalry is going to be a beautiful one there for both players. This is going to be a must-grab relic. Keep your eyes on it. I imagine 3DB is going to grab that one quickly. Generally speaking, the Chinese player gets the relics first. Over here, we've got the Fur of Boit with the Healable Heroes. Regeneration rate plus 0.25. Now, there is one angle to get yourself the relics quicker as Tsukiyomi, and that's just get yourself your temple out nice and quick. You can do it. It's like not that hard. Just put the villagers straight over onto gold. And then after they're on gold, move them over onto food. So get the temple up. You also have to get the, I think it's gold here as well. So you get yourself just over, you get it's like, I think it's like 50 or 100 gold, 125 gold or something, and then put the temple up and you're good to go. However, 3DB right now, he's going next stage. He's gone to Kwafu, and he is already advancing. He's got to send those pioneers in and start looking for some nice pressure. Now, the defense for this, as the Japanese, should be put a house here and wall from here to here. And then you are somewhat, or maybe you have to wall a little bit more in this situation, a little bit more like this way so the pioneers can't really attack you. And then you can put some houses into the town centers. Or they probably don't even need to, but that's got to be your way to make anything happen. As the Miko is making her way over here to grab this Tusk of the Iron Boar, of which 3DB is saying, I don't want that. A ridiculously fast advance here from 3DB to put pressure on immediately as the Yatsa is on the way. There's already this second Miko, third Miko out as well, as he's trying to grab the Heavenly Jeweled Spear. He's going to be grabbing himself Tusk of the Iron Boar, just waiting for himself to get that upgrade through, as now it's in. Can take his relic, can take it back home. We see Inari all coming through as a cheeky little wall on the way. And I don't really see what 3DB is going for here. Military camp comes up. No serious early pressure at the moment as this villager takes a couple of smacks. And Soup drops a villager. He was trying to like min-max he was trying to min-max the wall or something. And he just loses the villager out of nowhere there. Nonetheless, now Classical Age is in. Another house to come up over onto this side. The Miko dropping stuff into the temple. That one villager pick pays off this fast advance. That's all you really need. One villager pick and it'll pay off a fast advance. Of course, you have to wait for it, depending on how fast you go. But that's a big, big deal. That's the Shuragumo over here, trying to get just a little bits of damage done. Pioneer's going to get some revenge fire in, as we do see a stable coming up quickly, a guardhouse as well behind this, as the Miko can start healing stuff up. Villagers getting pushed around. He's dealing with this early pressure can be very, very tough. The Miko coming forward as well. 3 Kitsune getting some big damage done as that Wisdom of the Nine tech coming through, but the Miko will get picked off as she ventures too far from her safe haven in the main base. But now 3DB is going to be taking a little bit of damage into his main base as well, because that's going to be Wisdom of the Nine Kitsune. They hurt. So keep an eye on that mini-map there. We might pop over and see what happens in the main base, but he's got to find those spots. There's 4 Kitsune. There's villagers here, here, and here he can be attacking. But for the moment, Soup is pushed off gold. I feel like he should just drop New Moon on the tower. Am I wrong on this? Meanwhile, Kitsune coming through. The villagers will simply pull away from this position, turn around, getting a little bit of damage off with that auto attack. As the Yatsa pops through. Can he pick off any villagers with this? The Yatsa is through one. Kitsune's going down. An absolute disaster in the main base here for Soup. He's trying to move up to this gold mine there as well. As why not? Gets out a couple of units. He spent all of his gold for the time being. As these Kitsune have been defended by one Yatsa. They're great. They've got lots of speed. You really shouldn't drop any of them against anything. But when there's this much stuff going on, it makes it very, very challenging. Meanwhile, Pioneers, Halberdiers, searching for Soup's resources at the moment. He's always putting himself into some very strange positions as the Pioneers can now start looking. Oh, he sends these Sky Lanterns forward. Not really a whole lot of stuff over there, but they are going to be swinging around onto this right side. There is access to Swampland, which probably is necessary here. We will drop that one down onto these units charging forward to try and take out the Pioneers behind this. Lots and lots of Halberdiers do end up falling. Is there enough stuff here? He takes out the Yatsa. He's got to pick up one of those final Halberdiers. Does do so. And all of a sudden, this pressure really not looking that red hot. One Naginata Rider on this charge forward. He's got to heal this one up with the Miko behind this. Juragumo going to get pulled back. Does it go down? Yes, it does. Some more Halberdiers are going to be coming through, but now no more Swampland. As the military numbers still favoring 3DB. Naginata Riders, though, there's a very nice number of them against all of this. The Miko on the front will get poked down here. You really want to pick that one off first because that's healing. That's a huge amount of advantage there. The Javelin is going after those Yumi archers there, but good control from Soup there to take those out as the Miko now playing Neo with the Pioneers, and all of these units from 3DP now starting to fall as Soup has managed to escape from the clutches of 3DB in this position. Pioneers falling, and I think Soup has well and truly defended himself. He's now got himself Bushido tier 2, and that's going to be his medium units completely in. Picking off all those units on the backside then. Need to really take out the Dows with the Naginata Riders as the Javelin is coming back in here, and you can pull those low HP units back, heal them up yet again with another Miko. No problems. Now this is the case. There is 23 villages to 33. That's a big point to make. B can just sit on this advantage a little bit. He'll have roughly 600 resources a minute more than what the Tsukiyomi has got. So in 1 minute, he's going to be able to catch up on this military differential. And then another minute, he's going to be in front. So he does still have to give himself, the upgrades though. So it's probably an extra minute there of gather time for medium infantry and medium archers. And during all of this time though, Super's going to set up his walls. His gold mine is safe. He's still got his gold mine in the main base he can fall back onto. And he gets to heal up all of these injured units. But the calm before the storm. There is still a lightning weapons as well, mind you. So all this meaning a big deal. Beach Blossom Spring over here going to get mined up as, for whatever reason, 3DB wants a ton of gold income here. Meanwhile, the Naginata Riders to charge in. These guys zoom at 6.6 speed. The Halberdiers will be a pain as they do have that Master of Weaponry tech in. But at 6.6 speed with enough attention being paid, well, they should be completely fine here. And that is also true. Soup does have himself out 4 Miko at the moment, so villager differential here isn't as bad as it looks. Charges in, picks one villager, gets out. Does he get out with this one? Yes, he does. I guess at 6.6 speed, it's enough to actually keep your units alive if you can pull them. Meanwhile, Soup is circling around yet again. Sort of made 3DB think he's elsewhere. The Halberdiers are in a defensive position here, so really shouldn't be any dead villagers here. But does almost lose one. Soup going to pull back, continuing to put the pressure on. Villagers in the center of the map here. Soup loves to play with fire, doesn't he? Absolutely loves it. In this case, though, the Naginata Riders, if B shows himself, which he has done, they will charge back over here, and all of a sudden, they will be completely caught out of position. And Soup is going to be able to clean house here. He's absolutely going to be able to clean house. As he charges in with the Naginata Riders in, those Yumi archers can clean up the Pioneers. We do have the lightning weapons to get thrown in here, as well as the units are getting stunned up, and this has got to be a good fight here for 3DB. Hachiman is queued up, and for the millionth time, I'm seeing a greedy heroic age from the Tsukiyomi player, and now you're in trouble. Losing that fight, throwing away 1,300 resources when it's must needed. B is going to be able to break through this wall, put pressure on. The lucky part here for Soup is he can just research watchtowers. Doesn't need to put New Moon down, but research watchtowers. Main base is going to be safe. He's got gold, he's got food, and he can put a ton of villagers over onto the wood as well to start doing what he really wants, which I think is to get out some myth units here. We aren't seeing the watchtowers, though there's not really a huge amount of necessity to, as the Naginata Riders are going to be searching off here. Villagers at the top on the on the food, on the gold. Soup has no idea that that's the case. He does see the villagers on this wood line. He wants to hit that. That's the Tengu. How many times are we going to see a Tengu dive in and die? This guy should never do that. He should never die. Does manage to get over onto this spot. Catches out the Kwafu there, but not going to be able to pick it off as the villagers do make it into the tower. Two end up falling. Daimyo is in now, however, for Soup as he's pushed off at this gold mine. Where's the watchtowers? B is saying, hey man, I'm not going to let you just do this. You're going to lose some villagers. You're going to lose some economy. You can't just go to the heroic age and expect not to get attacked. Shogun on the front here, soaking up damage, but is going to be going down. Gets one samurai, but does that even matter there? As the halberdier on the back, you're going to be dealing with these Naginata riders as well. And now New Moon onto the armory. Now, Soup does have one little saving grace. He's about to have enough favor for another Swampland here. He's about to have enough favor for a Swampland. But here's the thing. B doesn't need to do anything right now. You just use New Moon on the armory. Just run. Don't take a fight. Don't give Bushido. Don't give anything. Pull back. Go full pop. Get all your armory upgrades. Get heroic gauge. Catch up. You've got the villager lead. That's all you need. Everyone to this side does manage to find a Miko. Picks that one off. There is room for another Shogun. Absolutely. So we do see ascetic practices as well as Ivory Netsuke in queue. Villagers falling left, right, and center as B is in full command right now. There's only one Miko at the moment currently gathering favor. So the Tengu are they're gonna be helpful, but he can only really make himself like 4-ish. Miko on that side does end up dying. As the villagers dying left, right, and center, and Soup is just not able to defend this pressure here. He's pushed off the gold mine. He's back over here. He could throw another wall up and try and slow down on that right gold mine and all that other good stuff. Ivory Netsuke is on the way, but the temple is going to be getting torn down here. So this upgrade isn't even going to be helping. Because you can't build any... You could put a temple on the back, I guess. So Ivory Netsuke does manage to come through. He's got ascetic practices, but the temple is slowly going to come in. Lots and lots of food in the bank. A little bit of gold. A lot of wood income. I'd love to see this wall coming back up over onto this side, but for the moment here, Soup's plan is very simple. He's saying, if I can get myself out a handful of Tengu, maybe I can beat this army. I don't think he can. Not with a handful of Tengu. He needs some other units as well. Maybe raiding with the Tengu or something to try and relieve some pressure. But there's already the heroic age in. B, it's going to be able to immediately go up to full bronze if he wants to. He can also go for for heavy immediately on everything. As the villagers are getting chased off of this wood line onto the back wood line only here. The town center going down. This could be an overcommitment here from B. He wants to finish this game. As the Yatsa diving in over here. The Shogun will pick off one Yatsa there. Those remaining Yatsa, good control there from Soup to try and charge down and finish this one off. The Tengu are helping, but those Yatsa diving through are going to be a big problem. Not using that jump there to get out of that position. Does end up losing that one there, and there's just nothing remaining here for Soup in game number 2 as 3DB manages to do what 3DB does. And he takes game number 2 in commanding fashion. I know I said it in the moment, but it's like, how many times are we going to see a Tsukiyomi player go for a heroic age in a time that no one would normally go for a heroic age? If it doesn't work for every other god, why does it work for Tsukiyomi? It doesn't. 3DB manages to punish so well here just by going, oh, you're going heroic. Okay, I'll just attack you. That's what you're supposed to do. And unfortunately, Soup, maybe if he got watchtowers, Soup would have been fine here. Because it would have protected his gold mine. It would have helped him with his army that he had out. He would have been able to maybe go into a whole bunch of the Tengu, and he wouldn't have had to fight. Would have been able to get the armory up, get himself a whole bunch of units, and be in a good spot. But no watchtowers and no real chance here. When you look at the resource difference, this will tell the entirety of the story. Nonetheless, let's jump back over to the draft and see what they're going to pick for game number 3. All right, it's going to be a Kronos versus Susanoo affair here. On the map key. Well, this is spicy. I have to say, this one's spicy. I really like this matchup for Susanoo. I don't know what everyone else is saying. I really like this matchup for Susanoo. Currently, Kronos has got the wins on this one, but we'll see how it's going to go. Does require some nice Miko usage. Early Kitsune and those sorts of things. Can be really, really strong. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping into this game momentarily here. And we can also have a little look-see at this. So far, there's been we've had this matchup happen once, actually. We saw Soup versus Nyan Racing Cat, and Soup did actually manage to take out Nyan for the series in this specific matchup. So this 1-0 is Soup in that one, but it's a different player in control of Susanoo with different thoughts, different feelings, and a whole bunch of just different ideas. So to say the very least, this is going to be spicy. Ideas of fast temple into quick 3 Kitsune, into harassing oracles and things like that. That's a nice way to sort of open here. Shanking down the temple if it gets brought in too close is another sort of option to shut down the Kronos Rush. And if you get past the Kronos Rush without taking too much damage, you're just in a good spot here as Susanoo, I'd have to guess. But nonetheless, let's jump in here to the map key. Watch Soup versus 3DB for game number 3. Alrighty, here we go. In the right-hand corner of the map, the biggest brain in Age of Mythology, putting his wits to the test here. It is Mr. Soup, and he is playing as Kronos. On the left-hand corner of the map, 3DB. Now going to be in for some trouble. He's playing Susanoo. The oracles slowly starting to line up around the map here. Obviously wanting to go for the rush. He's already put the villager over onto the gold tier. 3DB has scouted a tiny bit, but at the moment just grabbing all the cows he possibly can. I think Soup might have had the advantage here. He's got 15 cows. And I must say, this is not a quick temple. This is a slow temple. There is one idea here from the side of Susanoo, which I don't like as much, but you just build yourself out 2, 3, 4 Miko, and then you advance. It's an idea, at the very least. Prometheus, they got a choice here for Soup, and he is going to be putting serious pressure over onto this side. Now, this gets spotted. This is well and truly shankable. He comes over, he hits the Oracle. It's too late to move over and shank now, but well and truly shankable Temple does manage to get up. All right, I think B spotted it. Yeah, he did. For those of you who don't know, 9 villagers will be able to take out a temple in 10 seconds. As long as you get onto the temple by the 10th second, you can see it by clicking on the temple, you'll be able to take that temple out and kill it off. And it's well worth it. 300 resources to kill off a temple in 10 seconds. That's for 9 villagers. That's value. That's basically the cost of 100 resources on your income on your side. As the deconstruction coming down, and Soup is well and truly on the way here for some early game damage. As this Miko comes over, tries to deal with all this stuff. Good control from 3DB. As he's going to try and put his temple up over onto this side as the Miko comes through. Little bits of shankages coming through as the counter barracks coming in onto this side. Healing up this low HP villager. He's too slow on that one. 1 villager down. I have to ask, where's the second Miko? From 3DB. The villagers have to all idle. He's now in the next age, trying to get the temple up for Ajuragumo. And there will be a hero Terma to come through, as this is just absolute catastrophe. An absolute catastrophe for B. He's not managed to defend this all too well. He lost a villager, huge amount of idle time. 3 Miko now out in an effort to try and push this all back. But sitting under this position with the Juragumo and those Miko can be a nice sort of idea here. You see now the counter barracks on the way. Miko's getting that damage done. Does pick up 1 Terma. That's going to be taken out. As 1 Miko goes down. The second Miko will end up falling as well. Or maybe he might be able to heal it up. Did he get there in time? No. The Juragumo, however, can get healed up and he can win this fight to some degree. In the main base, still no stable or anything, as B is just trying to get himself sorted out. It's the Juragumo to pull back into the main base as the second one is now coming through. And that Juragumo does end up falling, and 3DB's defense of this has not ended up working out all too well here. He can heal this Juragumo while he picks up a Terma as well. So it is max value. It is ending up falling. Even with 2 Miko, it's not going to be enough there. Swampland does get dropped down, and it's a small amount of value. Picks off 1 Terma, but it does give him just a little bit more time to survive here. He could have tried to drop Kusanagi down on this spot as well to send the units back into the swamp, but not happening as there's more Miko to come back in. And I imagine just full hero Terma here is going to be enough to take it out on the next one. But now we have 1 Naginata Rider, so the Catapulties are going to be very necessary. More Miko coming through as B is just like, Soup, I don't need villagers. I have 1 Naginata Rider and a dream here. 1 Naginata Rider. What are you going to do? Kill off my Miko? It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to kill him off. Try. Get out of here. I've got 2 Naginata Riders and 4 Miko. Drops down the Kusanagi there. Does not really get to do a huge amount of damage with that one, though. As the numbers of units will continue to motor forward here. This 1 Juragumo is such a good counter to the Catapulties, but not there if it's being heroized. That being said, can you not just kill this with the Miko healing as well? it's kind of weird. Like it's kind of like the Caladria in the early stages of the game. You don't really want to be taking those fights early on because they can just counter it all. But nonetheless, there's now medium in, so more Jiragumo can come through. Also, the options of potentially another Swampland to come through. That's the Miko just sitting here. Are they on auto heal? No, they're not on auto heal. They could be on auto heal. Completely fine to do that. As the Terma try to poke in here. There's no real healing for Soup with the exception of Valor, which is not really going to be able to help out all too much to the same degree that B's got. He's making Yumi Archie here against all these Terma. Surely a Samurai would not go astray, but obviously he doesn't really have the food. The chicken's on the front, not going to be super ideal, but he can slowly start trying to snipe the Catapulti hero, and if that goes down, then all of a sudden the Jiragumo is max value as B charges forward. Kusanagi is in, keeps his units alive with this one low HP. Naginata Rider does manage to stay alive here. Over onto this side, pulls that one back, not quite able to keep it alive as the Catapulti numbers are slowly falling here, and the Naginata Rider is doing so much damage, though the Jiragumo does end up falling on that side. Military differential, very, very close here as the Miko out heal the Catapultis, and Soup's Chronos Rush has been dealt with. Oh, he's got to be super careful. He's thrown away some units over onto this side. I said it was dealt with, but I mean, maybe it hasn't. There's still some terror behind all of this. Though now there is a significant military advantage for B. And Soup's got to get out of here. Another hero, Catapulti, coming through. As the Naginata Riders will pull back. Healing up those Yumi Archers beautifully. There's just no angle here for Soup to take any fights versus this amount of healing. And these Term are going to be going down. And I mean, Soup has got... Wait, Soup doesn't even have a villager lead. This is 30 villagers to 25. Has he not been training villagers? He taps out. Like, has he not been training villagers? What happened here? They were coming through. He must have had a whole bunch of idle. He had a whole bunch of idle time here. Maybe no food income. Idle villagers or something. I mean, for a small amount of time though, like not huge. I don't even know what happened. Maybe Soup just went full all in on this and took everyone off food and just went onto wood and all the other good stuff. But man, what a defense here from 3DB. I love the Miko idea, but I don't think he needs to rush the heroic gauge out. You just get the Miko out first. You defend against the Prometheans without that problem. Advance a little bit later. Get your Shiragumo out and you're good to go. And it would have been a much easier defense, I think, from B. But he's he defends it perfectly well. And better luck for Soup next time with the Chronos Rush. He's not going to be a next time unless he wins the next 2 games. Because now 3DB is on game point. We'll see if he can bring it back. Let's jump back over to the draft and see what they're going to pick. We're going in onto the map. Okuchichibu. And it's going to be an Oranos versus Amaterasu affair. Well, this is going to be spicy, guys. This is going to be quite spicy. I don't mind this matchup from the Urano's side. I don't mind this matchup from the Amaterasu's side. It's very, very tricky. Very, very tricky from both sides. And it sort of looks like B is also saved his Chronos for Anatolia. He saved that for Anatolia. So even if B loses this next game, he's going to have his Chronos for Anatolia, which is going to be kind of difficult for the Frere if Soup wants to go that way. New Wire, on the other hand, could be a little bit more safe, but nonetheless, let's have a little look-see at the old map stats here. Huge shout out to Gerbot. And I was going to say the team over at aomstats.io, but I'm pretty sure he does it all by himself. So huge shout out to Gerbot for all the live stats we're seeing. Uranos in this matchup. I was saying I didn't mind the Uranos versus Amaterasu, but it looks like it is currently 0-3. We'll see if Soup is going to be able to change things here, though, on this map, Okuchichibu. But yeah, okay. So let's talk about the matchup. Why is it kind of okay? So there's, I think the best way to play this from the Urano side is to open counter barracks. Double counter barracks, Terma, Catapulti, Caraballister, whatever your opponent is building, you build the counter unit to that. If they're building Samurai, you build Caraballister. If they're building Yumi, you build Terma. You can actually open Terma as well. There's no problems with that because they can kind of deal with early Samurai, though Naginata Riders come through and they make your life hard. So it's a little bit of a guesstimation there, but you don't have to do much anyways. But Terma are good at good raiders early on as well. But nonetheless, I don't know. That's my take. You go for double counter barracks and you go that way. The other angle is to go for a whole bunch of Momilla early on. That plays into Amaterasu who wants to make Samurai. So if they scout you making those military barracks, they'll make dojos, they'll make Samurai. They're good to go. There's also that Carnivora that can take out those Samurai nice and quick. But it is a tough one. It is a very, very tough one here for game number 4. 3DB up 2-1. Let's jump into Okuchichibu and see how it's going to go. Alrighty then. In the left-hand corner, tournament life on the line. Must-win game. The biggest brain in Age Mythology, putting his brain to the test. It is Mr. Husk Soup. He gets himself a back gold mine. We'll talk a little bit more about the map after we introduce the next player. Looking to upset the world here. Or maybe not. It is Mr. B. Coming in to sting. Making all of this stuff happen. So, 3DB on Amaterasu. He's got himself this sort of unfortunate forward gold mine. If I see this as the Uranos, I'm thinking, how can I put pressure on this nice and early? I want to attack this if I can. So I'm thinking either rushing this to some degree with a whole bunch of Terma early, maybe faking some Murmillos into Terma to force out Samurai so we can actually charge in and start shooting, scoot, microing, and all the other good stuff while I pressure this gold mine. And I guess from the other side, for B, I'm thinking, how do I defend this? So temple on the front, wall this off, those sorts of ideas. If we take a look at the actual town center situation, There is a back gold mine. There is back hunt. Uranos doesn't really care about these types of things, though. You can get a bad town center and still play and turn that bad town center into an amazing town center by just using sky passages. So that is an option there. However, Soup, I thought he put this strategy to rest. However, in this matchup, it makes a lot of sense. I honestly thought he put this strategy to rest. I don't think it's terrible, but I also don't think it's necessarily amazing either. What is this strategy? Well, you might be thinking, oh, I've seen hero citizens before. I see them with Gaia all the time. This isn't Gaia, it's Uranos. He's going hero citizens. He's going to be going Prometheus. He's going to be going Theft of Fire. He's going to have a huge amount of economy to play with. And he defends against Kama Itachi. However, what's his opponent doing? Mina Kata Tomi. This is not your standard Amaterasu shenanigans. This is, I'm taking you somewhere else, good sir. I'm defending my gold mine with a Shrine of the Hunt. What are you going to do about it? I love this idea here from B. One unit, also a misunderstood, very strong myth unit. If you get a couple of these out, it gives you pushing power and all the other good stuff. However, nothing changes here for Soup. So long as this is a one town center Amaterasu, nothing changes here for Soup. In fact, even if it is a one town center Amaterasu, probably nothing changes here for Soup. I can explain it. You still want to go counter barracks here. Terma to take out the Yumi. Karabalisa to take out the Samurai. Catapultis to take out the Naginata. And if there does end up being a town center angle from the Amaterasu, it's Promethean angle to push through it. As we are seeing some oracles come out, already 5 oracles through for Soup. He's already guaranteed himself that Theft of Fire. They're a little bit short on the favor here as he's been heroizing everything non-stop. And a stable up for 3DB. But B doesn't need to leave his base. And I think the plan here from B is make a unkillable army. Sit in his base, death ball this. Doesn't need to leave it because he's going to get a huge amount more gold in. These guardhouse units are sort of low cost gold. Naginata Riders aren't. They're very high cost gold. But yeah. I'm going to be seeing some Terma coming through here. I particularly like the Terma in this specific situation from Soup, but especially when you see Minakata Tomi. But nonetheless, he's going to be having just something out to get some scouting through. Sends that one across. Over onto this side, the Kitsune checking things out. There is this Blanket of Emperor's Soul, but it looks like Soup is just going to be ignoring that. Up on the top, there's the Ula's Bow here as well. As this Naginata Rider checking things out, does end up seeing the hero citizen in hot pursuit. It's like, give me that guy. I'm actually fairly certain he wins the fight if you turn around and actually fight it. But there's a catapulti over here. And that's going to be an answer. As more Naginata Riders to come through. And when you reveal the Naginata Rider, you know your opponent's going stable, so there's going to be more coming up. No problems. Nonetheless, Soup coming up here to get himself another Sky Passage. And there is an angle here to simply just heroize the Catapulti at low HP, and he can probably win this fight. He has to stay here. No heroization on the Catapulti there, though, as the wall trying to get up. He will be able to finish it, but he's going to have to sit behind it and repair it as well. Though, I mean, with Theft of Fire, you do build faster. So that's a nice little help there. There's another Catapulti to come through. And we have seen this low HP Naginata Rider coming back to get healed up. Love that idea. And Soup is defended for the time being. Counter barracks number 3 to come through. As what's been revealed here so far is just Naginata Riders, but Soup's already reading to some degree that Yumi archers are coming through. Makes a lot of sense because you're going Minakata Tomi, you get the stronger Yumi archers with the hunter's bow and everything like that. You have to take Ula's bow here. 15 range base Terma, going up to 16 range at medium, up to 17 range at heavy. You don't want to give it over to the to the other player in the slightest there. Nonetheless, the Sky Passage will be coming through. There is also an option to drop a Carnivore. Oh, it doesn't have Carnivore. I'm stupid. And you can also grab this with the Citizen and then run into the Sky Passage back home to drop it off. Nonetheless, this top position is now under attack. Well, that's one dead Citizen. Nice little catch there from B. And we'll see where to next for Soup. Because right now, 3DB, he's got units galore. He has a big advantage on military. Soup has a big advantage on economy, though he's lost one hero citizen, which is not ideal. Economic situation here. He's got himself pickaxe coming through. He's got himself over here a Sky Passage coming up. Does move into the center of the map, getting caught out here. And he's going to lose some of those units. Turns around with the catapulties here to get a bit of damage done. And look at the one Udor coming through as well. I've told you these guys are not bad. And he's going for him. He's getting that upgrade as well. Condemned Soul. And all of a sudden, the main base of Soup is going to be having some issues. If 3DB sees a little something, which is ranged area of effect damage, you already know. You already know he wants to take advantage of that. And Soup's now in some real trouble. Soup is in some real trouble. Getting up another counter barracks over here. The citizens can make a break for it over onto this side. Is Soup trying to go heroic age? These are one unit. These are siege units. The town center will inevitably die here. And there's no easy way to take these guys out. Like, mass hero catapulties is almost your only answer. And then you also have to somehow take out the Yumi Archer Ball as well. So one Udor to take out this Sky Passage. The Sky Passage can get dropped in the back of the base here. And Soup's hometown center, huge amounts of units in queue here as he's realizing he's got to do something. The hero Terma to try and take out those 65% Pierce Armor, one Udor, is just not going to be enough. And B literally just strolls in here and says, bye-bye town center, bye-bye units, bye-bye Soup. And Soup's got no military left. And he's got a shockwave. And he taps out. And that's Soup's road to Champions League Season 4 glory ending. As 3DV shows off how simple it can be. Naginata Rider, Yumi, and Infernal One Udor. As everyone in the chat who says Amaterasu is one-dimensional is slapped and told, nah, you're wrong. I must say, however, Soup did not read this in the slightest, what was going on. I feel like if we take a look at the post-game here, we look at the timeline, we look at all resources collected, it's pretty close. But if we look at the military resource value, it's not close at all. And that's just from unspent resources. I think Soup wanted to go heroic age when in reality, he really just needed to be going full spam and heroizing everything. You're not playing versus dojo units, which means the Bushido doesn't come through as fast. And then you can push back. But easy for me to say, I'm watching with Omniscient. You're playing against B. What's B going to throw at you? You never know. He's got something different planned every single game. But unfortunately for his tournament does end there. We will be seeing B again tomorrow. But we have the semi-finals now. Winners coming up. We've got Rappel and the Mister in the hot seat coming in very shortly. Don't you guys go nowhere. We'll see you in the next one.